Time to talk about Drishyam 3, the spoiler discussion. What happened at the end? What was that twist? We didn't see that coming yet again. Jesus have delivered yet again. Did he not? We'll discuss everything in this video, in this live stream, and also Bharathanatyam to Mohiniyattam talks about that. So welcome to the video, guys. Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching live, let me know in the chat how's the audio of the video, and if you're watching the replay, you can always leave a comment below. So I thought both the films, like it's been a week now, more than a week for Drishyam 3. I thought, now we can at least talk about the spoilers. I hope if you haven't seen the video, spoiler alert, you go back, watch the film and come back. But I put in the chat also, IPL final is on the way. It's RCB versus GT and the chat is very favorable to RCB right now. They are 83% winning with 12 votes. But as we go along with this live stream, I'm sure the votes may change. But let's see. You can let me know how's your thinking over time, and always you can hit the like button, hype this live stream so people can join us. Ye sala cup namde. Got it. Namdu, right? Namdu. That'd be a great next level thing if they can, after 18 years not winning anything, and then 2 years back to back they are winning. That has happened. Mumbai did that, right? They won 2 years back to back. But GT looks very promising. After losing, I think they'll be more confident on taking RCB. But anything can happen. It's T20 cricket. But back to the video, the topic of this video. What do you guys think? We should start with Drishyam, I think. We're good to go with Drishyam. Let's begin. So as I said, the trailer footage in front of me, we'll just go through some visuals whenever I'm talking about something, so you guys can know what's the context, what I'm talking about. But talking about that ending, guys. Nona, what's your watching? What do you mean, the how many people are watching? I have to check. I don't know how many are watching. 12 people are watching. One like. And guys, can we hit that like button so people can join us in this live stream? That will be great. Thank you for asking that. Now I don't like this, that now I know why YouTube has done this, but I cannot read your name properly because it's the tag which your channel has. So I cannot know how, what's your Shri Vidya, I'm guessing, but it's become very hard to read names nowadays. Reaction video for Bharathanatyam 2. Actually, I've uploaded it on the React channel, but Netflix came out of nowhere and no, you cannot copyright. So I had to re-edit it, in a way so that they don't do it. Now I have uploaded it again. Let's see if no issues happen, then I'll upload it again. If issues happen, then again I have to go back, chop it more, and make it very bad looking so that the reaction, copyright doesn't come. What series you're watching? I today started Spider Noir, by the way. So excited, looking forward to it. I keep switching between black and white and the color version. They have both of them. But back to topic, guys. Back to topics. Again, hit that like button so people can join us. MICSK did it back to back. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. I knew Mumbai did it, but I didn't know CSK has also done it. But let's talk about Drishyam, the ending. So that ending, right? It was crazy because the whole film builds up that first time around George Kutti was on the back foot, that he doesn't know what's going to happen, who's going to come from which side, how are they going to attack him, and what he's going to do to save him. Previously he had planned, right? He himself says it. Before this I had a plan. Okay, I got rid of the body. I know they'll come behind us, but we'll get out of it. Then the next one is that now I know the body will be found out, and I need to make a plan before that, to if that happens any day, what I'll do. So he was always planning ahead of everyone. This time around, it was first time he was not ahead. He was catching up. What's gonna happen? Where's they gonna come from? He's always looking over his shoulder. So the whole plan that he actually falls in that plan, which is staged against him. And we'll talk about the villain character also, played by the Prabhakar family. This time the twist was that the father, this time, Mr. Prabhakar is the one who's going after George Kutti, because he's done. He lost his son. He's also losing his wife. He's like, no more. I hate this guy. This guy is celebrating and enjoying, and he's become a producer, and he's doing great in life, and he has doomed my family. So how can he live in peace? So that was an interesting take, but okay, let's talk about it. I didn't enjoy his performance. I think I talked about it in my the actor name is Siddiq. I know he's a very legendary actor from Malayalam cinema, but I personally didn't like, and that's the old school filmmaking, right? Which comes in there. His character, right? He had this ultimate plan, which we don't know, but he's acting in the film itself, in the story itself, that my plan is to get that wedding stopped, and he's playing with the CI or SI, the inspector, and that I felt very awkward. Like, why are you acting in front of him? Like, I would have liked if they have done it in a way where he told the inspector that wedding should not happen, and then inspector is trying everything to get rid of the wedding, but he keeps failing because George Kuttis again got it. He wants the wedding to happen. That's the race we are in. And then when he fails, ultimately he comes to Prabhakar and says, I'm sorry I failed. And he's like, you didn't fail, because that was my ultimate plan altogether. Here he acted, oh my god, he cannot get married, he's getting away every time he does it, and then he's like, oh, you don't know, this was never my plan was something else. So that is a very old school way of laying out a big plan and reveal, which I was not a fan of. I just wish they had done it a different way, where you could feel more depth through the character. It was not like he's scheming, now I am the villain. That's what I felt with the performance and the way. I'll go to the comments, don't worry. But that's what I felt with his performance and the way the movie showed it to us. But then that ultimate plan was, wow, that was 2 years he was planning this. And that a bit, again, that's where the far-fetched nature of the plot comes in, where 2 years back he saved someone in Dubai and he's getting him ready to come, and he marries the daughter and then he takes his revenge, and it feels too far-fetched. But that's a similar thing what George Clooney did last time, right, in part 2, where he had such a long time, he had put up a plan and he was just working towards it. So you could say, okay, he also did, Prabhakar also did it for 2 years. He was like, and he was underestimating, George Kutti. Every time George Kutti himself says he never underestimates anyone. He always thinks and he'll be found out. He'll be, he's always kind of, he doesn't put himself down, but he knows that he is not perfect. He's not going to get out of it, everyone. He's not a mastermind. He's not, full of an attitude of that kind. He's not arrogant about it. Whereas other people, with his wife also in the first movie, then the inspector also in the second movie, then in the third movie also, the father is like, he's nobody. It was just luck. So that also kind of plays that it's not just luck. He is someone who just thinks, he just can exceed everyone's imagination to, save his family. So that's cool to see. Wait, I just forgot where I was. Spoiler alert, by the way. There's a big spoiler alert. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the whole idea that he had planned this for 2 years, and then he wanted George Kutti to first, he made sure that he accepts foreign people to get married, because he doesn't want to send his daughter again. So for that he planned a different plan to get him down. And one thing I totally I'll just to go to the cast again. The friend, right, the reveal is that he is actually the one calling and telling people that she is not, what was his name, Rajan, that actor, I've seen him a lot of times in Tamil movies especially. Let me know if you guys remember. I'll take the chat by then. The tail end ruined the experience for you. Okay, saw it yesterday, was nice. I am IPL, I'm always a CSK guy, and Dhoni, MSD. Mate, can I tell you something? There's a lot of nuanced joke. The most popular went over the head of non-Malayali speaking audience. Like dialect of Baby John. I'm guessing you're talking about Bharathanatyam. We'll come to that movie. Siddiq role is contained inside a small realm. He is only allowed to express that much, so I think was apt. Okay. Nona, please do an interview reaction. I'll do that. Would you eager to watch how Ajay Devgan plays the character? I'm actually more eager because they have changed the story. So I want to see what they have changed, how they are taking it differently. I think the ending would be same, that he crosses that line, which will come to. We have still not revealed yet. I'll come to that point, what he does at the end. But I think that would be the ending, and then he gets himself, or maybe I think he kills someone. No, that will go against his character actually. But they can do it. But the ending would be similar to what they did here, that he gives away and gets arrested for the thing, so that no one attacks his family. So that's something. But yeah, I'm trying to find the actor who played the friend who kind of backstabs him. Rajan, maybe Dinesh. Yes. Dinesh Prabhakar as Rajan. So I totally was confused that who is he, first of all, and then when the reveal happens, I'm like, wait, what? Like, I was really like, I should actually use the footage right now. Let's see if I have the footage. So he really, like, when that reveal happens and the wife, I'm like, I've seen that actor somewhere, all that happened. Do we have footage of him? Rajan. I don't think so. We have the footage of Rajan. But yeah, so the friend, that friend, like, he goes to his family, and then he agrees, that he says go inside, so that, like, he's okay with what's happening. George Clooney came to confront him, and then I realized, oh, this is the guy who was drinking and was in charge of the hospital where he exchanges the bones, right? Then I understood, oh, this is the guy. This is the character. And then, his wife was like, you left us and you never helped us out, and all that happened. And I'm like, wait, we just saw at the start the movie. He said, I'll make you an actor. You wanted to be an actor, I'll have you in my film. And in the start, we see that he's in the film and he's working with him. So how did he betray him and didn't help him out? And late, like, the wife says that he had to come to you and greed, and that time you took him in. So a lot of that whole portion of that reveal is like happens off screen. So that kind of threw me off a bit. I'm like, okay, this wasn't needed. At first I thought maybe the reporter is kind of throwing George Kutti off. This is all a misdirect for him to get make more enemies around himself. That's what I was wondering. But then it wasn't the case. It was actually him only doing on Prabhakar's payroll, whatever. So yeah, that point of like little taken aback, and it took time for me to realize, oh, this is that actor. First I was thinking maybe this is the actor from the first movie was working with him in the cable operation, right? Played by Madhav, Neeraj Madhav. But no, I thought, why would they cast someone else for it, for a older look? They would have casted him only, right? So that wasn't the case there. Yeah, so that was a bit weird, because it's the thing that reveal was paying off actually happened off screen, so it doesn't add too much into that. What do you guys say? Next part, Moonlal breaks jail to save his daughter from predators. Moonlal kills villain and goes back to jail with no one noticing. Ends the next part. That's quite possible. Who knows? He has connections. Did you get the acid part? Looks like Jitu Joseph got inspired from Breaking Bad too. I have not seen Breaking Bad. So acid part is, they say that he got 35 liters of acid, and then, like, that's what Joseph does. A lot of information is delivered just in conversations, so you have to really pay attention in his films. That's, I've noticed something. Otherwise other people would like to show you visually what was happening, so you register in your head. So a lot of important details are just given away in the conversation between two characters. So this point that for his plantation he needs 5 liters every month, but he took 35. But then again, he was still buying 5 liters, so he got that 35. Like, police has, again, behind the scenes, in off screen, they've already done all this research and investigation behind George Kutti, what all he did, but they don't know how to prove it because they don't have evidence. So that shows that police has done their job, but they just George Kutti has outsmarted them. because they cannot prove it, any of it in the court. So that was good detail. And that tells you that, the question that was the whole, his all the bones and everything was destroyed with the acid or not. And they kind of, hinder on that maybe few bones he had hit somewhere in that house he has created. And which I thought, I hope they don't go there. That's just stupid. Like, why would he do that? If you got acid, why save any bones, right? I think acid would destroy everything, and that's the ash he, they gave it to the family, right? So that would not made any sense that he had saved some bones. Why save evidence? Like, why would you save evidence to get caught later, right? So that, I was like, yeah, I'm sure he destroyed everything. It's just they're just trying to again. But then again, Prabhakar later realizes that I was not after him. I know that law cannot do anything to take George Koti down. So this was all a misdirect, and my main plan was to get them married and destroy the girl's life and destroy George Kutti's life and all of that. So at the end, all of that didn't even matter. Even the lawyer character was not really required, I guess. Anyways, they went to cook up a story in this part. Let's see what happens on the next one. So yeah, see, I said in my review also, right? Like, you had a one story which kind of ended, but the life continues of the characters, right? That's always the mark of good storytelling, that we stopped watching their life in this amount of period, and then we moved on in life, but their life continues in a fictional world, right? And now what they are doing is, with each part they're trying to get us back to watch their life, what happens later, what happened many years later. So the more you do it, the more things you have to build and create. Here also, the big criticism is this character, like, this character doesn't even show up for later, and this, after the interval reveal, she is like gone, missing from the film, MIA. So that's a big criticism I have seen. And but I think the narrative wise, like, her whole idea that she is Sahadevan's, maybe they could have used her more in the plot later. Like, suddenly she's just sideline, only Sahadevan is in the middle and he's with Prabhakar, and like they have a separate gang. Like, oh, it's like, oh, the reveal has happened to the audience, so you are not required anymore. We'll not tell, there's no plan for you now. You do your typical journalism. So that's what it felt like. And it is a criticism that's worth mentioning. It's not like you should not take it as a criticism. It is a criticism, but overall in the story, it not really changes a lot, like, because the bigger villains were them. It was not her. She was just a pawn for them, to use in a sense, until the reveal happens. That's where I got a little upset also. I said in my review also, I got frustrated that that Sahadevan was just going to people, hitting them, beating them. She goes to the doctor, like the psychiatrist, or wait, I'm therapist, and just shows knife and change things, and that would never be admissible in court. First of all. And he's like, I know where your daughter, like, he's just one guy. Like, of course she would call the police and get him arrested for that. Like, why should she get scared of some guy saying, I know your daughter, I'll kill her if you. That makes no sense. That you just, and she does call George Koti there, so it just felt little, like, logical loopholes, you can say. Not that there's no law. I understand Sahadevan's character would do that, but it makes no sense. Like, that would not stand in court, first of all. But then later, you think this is the case they are building against him, but that was again a misdirect. So that saved it. That saved my frustration. That okay, this was a misdirect, so this frustration is okay. It doesn't really matter. That was never the plan. So they didn't give it that much thought. The characters, they didn't give thought. And the writing kind of shows that. It's not a big plan, very, like, it would have been a very crystal clear plan to catch George Kutti, and then it was a misdirect that, like, oh, at least they gave it a thought. Here it felt like, they just did anything, and then it's a misdirect. Who cares? That kind of feeling I got. Actually, the story in the end took the Breaking Bad route, like the fact that it was not about the family anymore. Like, he needs these things to live. Okay, I get it. No, I don't think that's George Kutti. I think that's where, oh my god, votes have come in, and oh, RCB is still winning, but people are like, stick to movies. Got it. Guys, come on, only 2 likes I can see right now on the video. Can we increase that? That'd be great. But Breaking Bad out, no, I don't agree. George Kutti is not he doesn't enjoy any of this. That's a very, I think that's a very Western concept. Not Western concept as in, but it's a idea of, breaking down a character, so the getting into psychology that he actually enjoys doing all this. I don't think it's George Kutti is actually a very simple character. He's no mastermind. He's none of that. I think that's the whole attraction to him as a hero. Because anything, like every time he does something, he feels guilty. Every film ends with him saying, I can, like the way he apologized to the parents at the end of first movie. He didn't need to do that, but he went there just so because he feels guilt of what has happened. But it nothing is above saving his family. He'll do anything to that. Then the second movie also is like, the dialogue that he will never rest. He'll always be, running. He'll always be thinking what's next, what's next. There's no peace left in his life. And he also feels guilt that, what has happened to the family. And he feels that void inside him, but he has to let that be just to save his family. And in this film also, that's the case. He's feeling sorry that whatever he has to do to save his family, other people are getting affected. Other people are losing in, and he's not even, he never thought about them, that how he's impacting other people, not just the Prabhakar family, but everyone else around him, whoever are associated in some way or the other. So he feels that thing in himself. So it's not that he enjoys all of this, or he's kind of slowly getting he's getting fun out of it. That's not the case at all. He just does it to save it. He's a simple man. He didn't have family growing up. Now he has created his own family, and that is put in danger. That's everything to him. He doesn't have any other plans or something like that. Like the whole idea of him, movies and all that is there, but it's all about his family. None of it other things matter. So I don't think that's, he's just a typical, not typical as in, but he's a family guy, an Indian family guy who will do anything for his family. And, those are the things, we grow up like, we'll do anything for our families. I have still doubt on the ending. What happened to Sadevan at the end? The climax was too rushed, completely losing charm of D1. I would say it is a rush because we never get to know what happened to Sadevan. We get to know the husband kind of, he goes to Rameshwaran, and that also didn't make sense. That he, first of all, there's a logical loophole here, right? That they say he left the phone at the hotel room only, and he ran away, and he'll go to Rameshwaran and he'll run away from there. But then he calls Prabhakaran later from the boat. Says, I ran from Sahadevan and made it. So how did he made it, first of all? Then how did he get a phone? How did he has his number? Like, those kind of logistical things that it didn't make sense to me. Maybe if you watch again, maybe there are hints which tells you what really happened there. But I did feel that it was a little weird at some points, and it was definitely rushed. The climax felt rushed. It could have been much straightforward, and would have made more sense. But Sevadan's character fantastic in part 1. This part Joseph got challenge that every character is odd and has to run a plot around it. Okay. This part Joseph got a challenge. Okay. This is actually becoming a new trend, just like Bharathanatyam 2, which was kind of spoof of Drishyam. New Jairam movie, okay, which also a spoof of Drishyam. See, you can only make spoof of something which is popular. You cannot make a spoof of something which is not popular. That will not make sense, because if you don't have the reference of what a movie is spoofing about, then it will not make any sense. So that's why I think, because Drishyam is so popular, you can make a spoof around it, and that's why you're getting to see more and more spoofs. Karappa movie director, yes, I'll do that. But coming back to, so the whole plan, the way they show it, right? They show first what his actual plan is. That they'll go to this resort and they'll be alone, and then they'll plan things and show that the daughter is actually mentally unstable and all of that, and she hurt the kid, the husband, and the body is not found, and again they'll put it on George Kutti that he has to save his daughter. He because the daughter killed the guy, just like he did to Varun, right? Yeah, he also again hit the body and kind of repeat that thing. So interesting plan. That I would say that there's a good plan. So the first visually they show all of us, and we think this is what has happened. you know, because the moment he arrives, the police comes, and that's the plan they wanted. Then we again, then the I think inspector gets up and he gets a call, and then something has gone wrong, and we are expecting something has to go wrong because George Kutti will make it out, right? And then we see another perspective where Josh Kutti goes to, he catches Sahdevan, and he had already sent the guy who actually saw. Wait, we have him. Let me check. So this character, right, who kind of gave away, who saw George Kutti, putting the body in the police station. That character, he sends him to the, his plantation. That Sahdevan comes, just have a look at it. Then later we find out that he has told his, I think, brother-in-law also that some robbery, something is going on in a plantation to go check. That's why Sahdevan couldn't plant the body in that pit. And also that the whole idea of the pit, that was interesting. That he made George Kutti so paranoid that he digs a grave, he digs in his plant area, and he makes a video of him digging. So that was again a smart plan of Sahdevan. So there's a Prabhakar's plan, and over that, Sahdevan is assigned to do the job, and he has his own plan to take care of George Kutti. So multiple things going on, because I knew Prabhakaran wouldn't agree of killing the guy he saved just to prove George Kutti. I think that's now how far he'll go ever. So that made sense that it was Sahdevan's who changed the plan a bit, and then they all thought Sahdevan screwed it up. And then we see another version where George Kutti is, he's after he gets the call from Sahdevan, he's running away. His wife calls like, "Shut up, don't call me." And he's going, and suddenly he stops. His car stops, and he's thinking. And that time, I don't know how many of you noticed, they kind of showed different scenes of different thriller films, which one of them was definitely a night that I knew. There was, I think, one new one has come out with Biju Menon, and he plays a character in this movie also as a hero. And with Juju George, that film came out. I think one scene was from that film. And there was one more film, they showed multiple scenes there. That's very, very interesting in meta. And then you realize, oh wait, what he's gonna do? And then they replay it again, that he goes inside. I think he's outside, he's pushing the door, and that time police comes, and with the help of the police, they go inside and see what's happening. Now we are assuming something else, and then at the end we get to know that actually everything happened according to the plan. But George Kutti, with his mind, and he's like, I have to save my daughter, and he takes the, what to say, man, he crosses the line of how far can I go to save my family. And he's willing to go as far as hitting her himself, beating her up, just to show that Sahdevan actually did it, and planned again, like, kind of come out of this plan to save his daughter. Like, that was insane. That I was not expecting that. I didn't think we would go that far and go that dark. I think this is the first, like, you can say Drishyam franchise is a bit dark because you're dealing with murder and hiding the, go running away from the police and everything. But that was just too dark, that he's willing to. And they don't even like cut off, don't show us. They literally show us him beating her, slapping her, cutting her wrist, hitting her so badly. Like, they didn't hold back at all. I was really like, oh my god, what? I never, like, that was never expected that to happen. So that was, that kind of saved the whole film, where it kind of went haywire a bit. But from with that, because again, that is just not a reveal or a twist, oh my god, shocking value. Like, it's not done for a shock value, but there's a, what to say, emotional core, emotional weight to that moment. That's, doesn't matter what happens after this, but this is a big moment in their lives. There's no returning back from it. What he has done, I think he'll feel ashamed forever in his life, what he has done to his, even if the daughter knows he did to save her. And I'm sure this is gonna scar their life forever. Like, there's no going back from it. There's no, I forget it, or it's not a, I think it's a bigger moment than what happened in the first movie, in a sense, for the character's life, that's how far he went. And I think he's gonna feel more guilty about what he has done here. So it'll be interesting to see if a next system comes, what happens there. I think they're gonna take more 4-5 years before they come back again. Okay, did you catch the brand integration? No. The jewelry one? Yeah, jewelry one I caught. They went to get the jewelry. Will there be a traction on character Varun? His next plot. Varun character is done, right? The only thing is that the video he had of the girl, and if they that comes out, like, that kind of puts the family in the right light, that he was a wrong guy and he did something wrong, and maybe that's what now, even now, people think that that's what the film tries to show, that there are people who support George Kutti in everything that's happened, even if they think MG actor brand. No, I didn't. Of course, the car brand is visible, but I'm not sure if that's a direct brand deal. No, I didn't notice that. Man, I think this is the scene where Sahdevan attacks the guy, the grave digger, and he gets a call, and he's kind of shocked, but he doesn't want to show it, and he's controlling himself. Like, what a performance by Mohanlal, yaar. This is the small moments where he, like, no one can match him. This is what I want to see. Like, Ajay Devgan, can he pull something like off there? He's thinking something, he has to worry, but he doesn't have to show it also, and that's what you're portraying. It's crazy. Emphasis on, yeah, Kalyan jewelry I noticed. MG actor I didn't notice that much. Kalyan jewelry was very very straightforward. It was very in the face also. But yeah, that ending twist was, and then yes, he gives himself away. Now again, they don't show us what is the proof they have found, what has happened. I think it's just a thing of him signing the papers that I'll agree to all these things if you agree, and they have a deal between them. And if everyone follows that, then he's willing to let them take him and create a case. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think George Kutti is gonna give up. What actually happened. He, again, just like the second film, right? How he made up a confession, just like that, he'll make up something which he can later maybe get out of. Maybe he'll leave a door open, but he'll make up something which the police will say we have found evidence, and he'll also accept it, and that's how he is taken into custody, and the investigation will follow, and that's what Prabhakar thought. This will be enough for my wife, but wife says no. I want the daughter also to suffer. So let's see if what they do next here. How he'll make the daughter suffer now. She is already a big moment happened in her life that is scarred forever. Again, second movie, she comes out of it. Finally, third movie, she's like, okay, I have to get married. And that also has become a big case, right? So maybe they move away from this town. I don't think she's gonna get married again. She can never trust anyone. So, she is destroyed in a way, but it's just not in the open. And also, the idea that Prabhakar's family think, from the outside, they think everything is going great for George Kutti. But actually, we see what's going with George Kutti. He's always in tension. He's losing himself. He's being careless, Like, he's affected, that is never shown to the other people. It's all inside. That shows everyone is struggling. Everyone has their own problems they're dealing with. And not everyone shows that outwardly to everything, right? You not know, like, the neighbor next to you, the family members next to you, what they are going through, what they are feeling. You never may know that. Only person to person, that they themselves know what's going on, the struggles they are facing. From outside, everything looks great. That's a good point the film is trying to show, right? That you think George Kutti is having fun and great, but it's not actually the case. You don't know what he's going through. And I thought they may have a dialogue like this there, but again, I like that they didn't do it. That George Kutti just said, if you come after my family again, I will kill you. That was the most baddest line I think he has ever said. So that shows you that if he's willing to beat up his daughter, he can do anything. Don't test him. And again, the reveal that, when they find out that what George Kutti has actually done, when they realize, they are shell-shocked. Every time they thought he's just lucky, he's not lucky. This is the thing he can do. The climax and everything was amazing. I loved it. But the last scene was where IG asks, he needs daughter that ruined. IG asks, okay. Why would George Kutti make a movie of story resembling to his life and in D2 when he used novel to step with? So yeah, that I was actually wondering too, that why would he make the movie? But again, it's not clear, right? Like, they say, I don't know if it's based on the novel, because the novel is written by that writer only, and he was also writing a screenplay for a movie, and then he came up that a new director was there and I will, fund this movie. Maybe it's just to put out in the world that it's not true. We didn't do anything wrong. But if you think we did wrong, maybe check out this version of what we. I think that's why there's a scene where in the start of the movie, right? They go to the. This is actually a nice shot, him in the shadow and they are in the light ahead, and they don't know what's happening in behind them and everything. That's a cool shot you can think of. I think this is where the reporters ask her, right, why did you make this film, and all he answers that. I think that's the answer why he made the film. That he says nothing is true, it's fictional, but just if you want to get an idea what we have gone through, everything, you can watch the kind of a thing. It's like, how instead of let people imagine what happened, you're giving a context of what may have happened. If you're imagine this, don't imagine something else. So maybe for that he produced it. But yeah, it's not clear. I have to watch the movie again. Maybe there's few things I missed out. Maybe there is an answer to it, but yeah, even I was wondering, like, why would he make the movie? Next part would have more emphasis on Prabhakaran's wife. Forgot her name. IG, you can call her IG. Next part would surely have Mohanlal break jail to save his daughter, much like Shawshank Redemption. Okay. Someone else also, I think it was you only or someone else said that jail thing can happen, but it can happen. But yeah, it will again little too far-fetched that he breaks the prison and digs a hole, comes out, and go like that's a bit little too much. Not that fun to imagine and visualize. Come on, guys. 20 people watching, only 5 likes. That's not done. Come on. Can we get more likes? But yeah, that was pretty much what I thought about. I like this. I think they put in the trailer itself, you witness his defense, you witnessed his, what was the other one? Brilliance. And now you witness what he goes through, right? Something like that. Cost him, what it cost him. So this is the nice, in the trailer itself, they showed what to expect from the film. I don't think they promised something twist and turn again like previous films and they didn't deliver. I think what they wanted to, they did a good job at that. We may have more questions, and again, as I said, the more you stretch this narrative, the more things you have to build up and the more holes it will have. So I wonder if she knows everything. I actually thought she is the daughter of the grave digger, and that's why, because he helped the guy, the father, that's why she is totally helping him. But this film, I find out that's not the case. The daughter is someone else. So I'm wondering what's the relationship here, how they know each other, and why she's okay to accept him and she doesn't go wrong and all of that. But I found out that the actor who plays Sehdevan, kind of, he was asked, that is he in the film, and he said no, So they were kind of hiding that thing. And this is actually the point that the Hindi version cannot remake the film directly, because the Sehdevan character, which we saw in the first film, we don't see in the second one, and now he comes up as a big reveal. That character is the, what was his name in Hindi? Gaikonde. So first film is exactly replica frame to frame. Second film, they take a choice of, they again have Gaitonde back. That the police inspector character brings Gaitonde in to help in the investigation again. And they kind of play it similarly, kind of, giving him more jokey, like jokes and some comedy moments also at moments. And also he's like, he hates Vijay Salgaonkar, that is Ajay Devgan's character there. So, and they bring him again. So now if they make the third film as it is, it will not make sense that again Gaitonde is back and he has a daughter, and that will not work at all. So they have to change that whole angle. So the idea of Prabhakar turning evil, I don't know if they'll go there or not. So, it'll be interesting what they will take the case, like how things are gonna unfold there. So that's why I'm excited to see what they will do. This time now change. How much they'll change? Will they even change the ending? I think the teaser they put out before even shooting, they said that the last chapter, the ending, so they are saying it's the last one, which is not the case with the original. So it'll be interesting, which side and which way they have gone. Who knows, next part, George Kutti could be a YouTuber narrating story. Why not? From the jail, right? That will be interesting. But now, if there's anything else, let me know. Now let's move on to Bharatanatyam 2. Again, a very Drishyam coded film in a sense. The reviews on the main channel, you can, I hope you have seen it. And the reaction is, the full watch along is available on the React channel. If you're a member, you can watch it. And the reaction is coming soon. Some copyright issue I face, so let's see if it happens again. Then I have to rework it again. Today, actually, I wanted to post it, but that copyright issue happened. So if nothing happens by tomorrow morning, it should be out, part 1, and then part 2 will, I'll have to edit. Still, I need to edit. Like it takes a long time to edit it down. I took feedback from Adu reaction. Many people said, that they didn't enjoy the editing. It's too much. So I tried to kind of give more time to the dialogue, and the whole dialogue is there. Then I react to it. But again, copyright came, so I had to chop it down again. So that is a thing of reaction videos. That's a problem. But yeah, I think the big thing is that I kill or die. Again, I think the big thing is that I enjoyed part 1 more, just because of the simplicity. I think how simple it was, that it's just a family, and the whole idea is that the pride of them, that people cannot find out how far they can go to protect that, that they, for their father, they had a second family, and the way it is revealed that the father is in hospital, maybe he dies maybe last few days, and that's why the father reveals it. So the elder kid has to take care of it, and then and he takes care of it, the family gets to know, and then you find out the father is fine now, he'll get better. So everything just flips. So it's just a situational comedy, which is just such an epic idea, and just becomes so fun. And then over that, they could have taken it to the chaotic route of like a Priyadarshan film, where it just becomes a chaos, and they don't do that. They take the simple route. They treat it very realistically, and I know that is not that much fun. I understand that. Maybe that's why no one even knew about the first part. Even I never heard. I saw directly the trailer of part 2, and then I realized it's a part 1. And then I watched it. So I guess, and the second part, when they went all out chaos, with chaos and everything, it was much more appreciated. So it makes total sense, why they did that. But I don't know why, I just preferred part 1 way more. A second part, I felt, even with the humor, right, they just went not overboard. It was just too loud, in your face, with the characters, the whole character of Vinay Ford, it was just making you laugh every moment with this antics. Then Suraj's character also, the way he performs it, very out there, but he does it really well. He grounds it also with his performance. Then even the character of the family, there's nothing much holding you down emotionally there, unlike the first part, because it was more connected. Here they've come to a different town now, where they're setting up the other family here, and then they get within it, and everything happens within few days. Like the first part and the second part, I'm guessing there's just a day or two, maybe maximum a week difference, I would say, or maybe less than that. And the second movie happens, and within that second movie, within 1 or 2 days, or 3 days, everything is happening. So there's no arcs or emotional weight, which I felt a bit missing. It's not that dark humor films and black comedy, like, you don't need to have emotions, like anything you can go about it. But I think something that connects you with what they're going through, what they're doing, like why you want to cheer for them and root for them, I think that is not fully there. Lababu chocolate, I have no idea what that is. Surely moment. Need to watch part 1, listening to your recommendations. Great, thank you. Yeah, part 1, don't expect something crazy and out there. Just like take your time. It's slow breeze film. doesn't do something crazy at all, so that's there, if you can understand that. All right, but this movie I noticed second time, I'll put it in the reaction also. uh he sees the ashes, and he says, "Oh, you haven't done the ceremony," and they're like, "No," and he's like, "I'll also come that day." And that actually happens in a way. So if you have seen the film, that actually happened. So it was, there's certain hints here and there about the film, in what happens in the film. And I found out, Saijiguru's biggest hit, I would say. And I think he said something in an interview somewhere that, it took him 20 years to finally kind of, get it right. And that's great. Uh, this whole Drishyam angle, this was really funny to me, man. The plan fails in the end. He has to actually go and, sell the bananas. This cat, again, a good addition to the family. It worked really, really well. I think it was very clear that who the dead body would be. Once you watch the film, you're just waiting for it to happen. Winifred comes very late into the film, actually, very, very late. Again, they could have used this comedy far-fetched, but they didn't go there. Totally. It's a subtle, very subtle thing. Part one is also a spoof of very popular Mohanlal film, Bharathanatyam. Okay. But again, as I said, I've not seen that film. Even if it's a spoof, it still works in its own right? It's not, if you haven't seen the film they're spoofing, you don't understand it all. It's not like that. I think that's the thing with second part also. If you have not seen Drishyam, it's like the film still makes sense. It's still funny. And I think the film was trending #1 for a week, something on Netflix. So that's great. The whole temple thing and what the scam they were running there was really kind of bold for them to actually go there. And this was also fun that they brought back the other character from the first film. What's the name? Saurabh? No, not Saurabh. Subhash. Like every Subhash in every area is a nosy neighbor. And this guy, man, he is such a scamster. Like everyone he has scammed. And I also felt, the film tried to create this thing that you don't feel for him at all. So like a dark comedy has to create a thing where even they are doing such horrible things with him, like you want to show him as a bad character so that you don't feel it's off. You're not thrown off by, like, if this film is showing a innocent guy being killed like that, it is not comedy at all. You'll be horrified of seeing what's going on. So you have to create that he's an evil guy, he's a bad guy. But at the end, they also throw that curveball where you think that he did something, the girl that had to go abroad, and then you later find out it was nothing actually, and she's fine there, and she didn't have the phone and all of that. And that kind of cancels out that he's actually not that evil. But then you show that scene with the dog, and he's very friendly, and then the wife, the way he treats her, and then the way he's scamming everyone. It was 30 lakhs and he was trying to get 1.5 2 crores out of everyone. Then the way he scammed Subhash, he only purchased that land for cheap and then sold himself only. And so all the scams he has been doing, again, it's not still strong enough that spoilers, that his body is being chopped up and spread across the area, and it is in the pressure cooker. Oh my god, pressure cooker moment it reminded me of the Malayalam film Biryani, if you have seen it, with Kani Kusruti. That how much horrified I was with that scene. That's why I felt the film is actually little too dark for its own good, considering it's a family film. It was like the first film at least was family film. And here also we have a family, which is doing all these things, horrendous things, that they are, kill or die. That's the thing. They have to survive, right? So I felt they could have made him little more evil so that you felt more like you'd be more fine of whatever they're doing with him. Then the twist of him also helping them out and come together. Like I actually expected that you'll see in the reaction video. I knew that they're gonna go there. Visually also, I liked a lot of things they did this time. Uh, this was funny, very very funny. Why it had to be so hard? I think things like those have to be hard, right? Then only people would, if anyone would do it. Like I think the whole thing is that how far are you willing to go to get, uh, the ashirwad, the blessings of God. These are the things you have to do, so your whatever you want will come true. If it's too easy, everyone will do it and nothing will happen in their life, and they all will be like, I don't believe in a God now. So it has to be so hard that even if they do it, very very fraction of people will be able to do it. And if they do that much, maybe something happens in their life, and if it doesn't happen, maybe they'll think I didn't do it well. So that's, there are less chances of becoming a non-believer. I think that's why it has to be that hard. Again, this was a dark moment, man. Them going shopping to get different weapons. Oh my god. This was, yeah. Again, I also felt here like how willingly they did it. Willingly as in, they never had doubt that what are we doing, this is like, that question of uh doubt or something like that didn't happen. They were like horrified, like it didn't feel they were horrified. They're like, yeah, we are caught now, we have to get rid of it, so just move on with anything, any plan we come up with. So it felt a little weird there. The dog also kind of played a good role, where he kind of found his owner in a way. uh I would say you would have to enjoy it more if you have watched it with the theater crowd, the meta references. I'm sure it would have been a great theater experience, I'm sure. No arguing about that. How many references did you get? I feel it would have been difficult to get old Malayalam references. References, I think this time reference was very clear. Other than that, movie reference, I don't know if I got or not. But most of the humor landed for me. I didn't remember a scene where it was supposed to be funny, but I didn't laugh or I didn't have fun. It was more about the physicality and the performances of the actors. I think the second part they went all in, like they needed to hit in the theaters. Yeah, that's what I felt. The thing is that every day new references are coming out. Every day new references are coming out. But that's the thing, right? That tells you that the film is not dependent on the references for you to understand and enjoy the film. If this is happening, that all these references are coming out later when people are thinking about it, so it's working even without knowing. That's the good part of the film. One more thing, someone I think commented that the father made up this whole thing of hitting the coconut, which is the scene. Wait, where's the coconut scene? I'm unable to find it. But basically, the father like created this whole breaking the coconut on his head, and that's how he died. So that's a big connection from the first and second film, and that's what I found like from the comment when someone commented. Subhash versus Junior Subhash. Yep, that was very very interesting. How do you find a nosy neighbor? Bring the other nosy neighbor, and he knows. Like he was kind of a George Good. He knew what will happen. I don't know how, if I can show this on screen or not. Can I? Where someone tries to, put a rope on the fan and tries to do the S word. That was like, what? Oh my god, we are going that far. You know, this is an interesting way to, start the film, that you feel they are here for the father's ashes, but then we go back and tell the story and then come back and realize, oh my god, this is much more darker than that. If you know, you know. About what? Which which one are you talking about? Can we make 10 likes at least? Is live stream dead? Like no one want to watch live streams? Like that is the low. I think that That's not even the first time I live streamed many years ago. That's not the kind of views and people used to watch, right? There'll be more viewers than that. I guess YouTube is not pushing the video ahead enough. Thank you for making that 10 likes. But yeah, this whole Drishyam part was funny. But yeah, the I think the whole idea of taking a family comedy drama and turning it into a dark comedy, that's a very brave and bold way, and they kind of did it. They I'll not say they fumbled also. I don't think that's the right term at all. It's just that for me, I some things didn't work very strongly. Some moments and some emotional depth kind of would have made it better for me, and I would prefer the first part more than that. But I not at no way it's a bad movie or it's a flawed movie at all. I think they did it very well, perfectly. They pulled off so many things so well. Getting the characters, getting the plot going, getting the comedy right. I think they did everything right according to them, and it worked. It has proved that it has worked, and they did a really good job. They don't need my validation. In Bharathanatyam movie, Mohanlal father dies after revealing the truth, and they made the twist in part one that reveal the father doesn't die. Yeah, understood. This was a great theatre experience. Yes, I know a lot of people told me to watch it, but it wasn't playing near me. Wait, was it playing near me or not? No, I don't think it was playing near me. So that's why I missed it. But I think I also wanted to watch part one before. And it kind of helped me that I could watch part one and then watch part two. And I think I know people say that you don't need to watch part one, but I think for it's not so distant from part one that it's okay if you don't watch it, just watch part two. But I would say for a better and holistic experience of the film and characters and understanding of what's small things which you may not understand because you have not seen part one. The twins, right? Like most people do not know that they are separate, right? Unless that they understand the joke, and they don't make it a point to explain it. So I think if you watch the first part and understand the characters, every dynamics, everything what has happened, and then watch this, I think you just understand the whole film with better, better understanding. You understand the whole film. No, I'm saying something wrong. You understand it better. You have a better view and more enjoy. I think that's more, it'll be more enjoyable. So I'm asking again out of topic, black noir, black and white, or color is better? Spider noir, you mean? Spider noir. So what I was doing is I'm watching the day shots in black and white and watching the night shots in color. And I think both they definitely is a different experience. When you watch black and white, you just feel I'm watching an older film. The way they have shot it, the aesthetics, the costumes, the sets, props, everything, and just gives you a different vibe. And when you watch in color, it just looks so nice. So I think both have their own good things. Like some people are saying, I'm gonna watch one. I'll watch black and white first, and then again I'll watch the whole show. I don't have that much time. So what I'm doing is I'm constantly, like, whenever day shots are there, I put on black and white. Whenever night shots are there, to get more details, I watch. And action sequence also I put on color, because the effects and everything they have done in color, it looks nice. But anything, just watch one episode in color, one episode black and white, whatever you enjoy more, watching that, your choice. Yeah, Spider Noir caught up with Boys. Yep, Boys was not a great fun movie. The ending of the show. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, from both the films. If you have anything else, you can let me know. We can discuss. And yeah, what else is happening? Let me know. I'm thinking of, if you enjoy live streams, not on this channel, maybe the other channel, I'm thinking of bringing live streams back, and we can actually discuss different news and things that happen around. That'd be fun if you want that. There were a lot of references, like Jagdish says to win a fort while trying to leave his old Mammootty movie dialogue. Yeah, the way he leaves, that was still funny. Not knowing that, I remember that scene. It was like funny the way he just leaves. So It was funny in any way. I think in the context, right, that he got a call and he did this the crime he did already in the revenge, and then he gets this call and he's just totally like what he's totally lost in life, right, in a way. So in that context, it makes it funny. It doesn't, you don't need to know the reference what they are kind of hinting at. That's why the film, does a good job that you're not relying on all these things to understand what's really going on. You can still have fun. But what else is happening? There are two good, there's an Indian animation film playing, original film. I don't know if it's playing near you. Return to the Jungle. I've not still not seen it. Maybe tomorrow, day after, I'll go. Then there's the great grandfather superhero, something like that. Great grandfather, the great grandfather, the great superhero, something like that is the name. With the Jackie Shroff, and it's a kids movie again. Hearing good stuff about that too. Then there's a movie called Shape of Momo, which I saw at a film festival. Really nice movie. It's playing. Definitely check it out. It's getting a big release. It's a film from Sikkim, which is a state in India, which most often we don't even realize. So that's a good one. What else is playing? Obsession. Right now, Ronak's video is suggesting. I've not seen it yet. I'm not a big horror guy, but I heard so much things about this movie, and that it was made by 26-year-old who has made YouTube videos, and there's so many such stories that have happened in the Hollywood last 1 year, and there's one more coming called Backrooms. Backrooms? Yeah, Backrooms. Backrooms. So yeah, Backrooms, where again a 20-year-old has made it, who made YouTube videos, and from there they made a feature film, and that is also on track to do a lot of money. And Obsession was made under $1 million, and they've already made $100 million. So that's the biggest success story ever. 100 times of the budget they have made. So that's great. Like they have overtaken a Star Wars film, the big IP franchise. People are saying the franchises will take over cinema, but totally that's not the case anymore. Only good films will survive. So that's good to see. Those things are happening around us. They even went for Marvel reference, like in the scene when family attacking Suraj, the image is quite similar to Avengers attacking Thanos. Okay. Yeah, those things, yeah, you can say. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're going for. Obsession, I wanted to watch in theater, but the whole CBFC thing's making me wait. So the thing is, Ronak says don't, like, you have to go for theater experience. Even if they have chopped some scenes off, I think they have removed like a steamy scene of 30 seconds, and then some violent scenes they have chopped off a bit. But I think what I've been told is the theater experience is crazy, especially if it's like a full crowd. Don't miss it. Like, it's not worth just for those small moments you want to skip the theater experience. That's what I've been told. Any plans of watching old Malayalam movies and reviewing? I'll be watching Sandesham soon. We'll do a watch along and a reaction also, and a review will be coming. That's the plan right now. And I want to watch older films, like a couple of them, not one. Like in the past, I've done, like, I've reviewed some older films, but I don't think I'll make a standalone video about one only. So I try to watch one director's work and then make a combined video of it, talking about all the films they have done. Do check out the latest interview, Abhishek Sundar with VR, okay? So a topic of discussion, like if we take top grosses in Malayalam in top 10, 5, 6 are sequels. Is Malayalam film, I guess, getting saturated with sequels like Hollywood? Okay, Bharathanatyam, Drishyam, you can say. What else? What other sequels came out? I can only recollect 2 right now. But that's the thing, that's happening everywhere. See, I don't think it has to do anything with creativity. It's more about the recall value right now, because theaters are getting expensive. Going out to watch a movie is getting expensive. So people need to be assured that if they are spending money on a movie, it's worth their time. And when it's a sequel, they already know it has a legacy. They have seen the first movie or the previous films of that franchise, and they know what to expect, what they'll get. They'll be worth their time and money. And they are more, assured of going and watching that movie. And that's why sequels are working much better than original films. because original films people don't know if it will work or not. So that's again now if you look at Dhurandhar, it was an original film. The first week was okayish, and then it just flew off, right? And then part two, of course, everyone was gonna watch it if you have seen part one. So that happens. Empuran Vada, again, same thing, right? It just connects. I think it's more word of mouth, right? And these are Emperor, I'm not sure, but it is Vada, you can say. Drishyam 3, like, they have even good word of mouth also. It's not just in the name of sequel they are doing well. They are actually coming, even if Malayalam cinema is doing sequels now, they are actually making good stuff. The sequels are actually good. They're kind of retaining the audiences. It's not just in the name, 2 is there and people are watching it and it's actually not good. So that's not the case at all. So it's a good thing, right? It should be good movies. Good movies, if good movies do well, it's good thing. That's a simple, bare minimum understanding you should have. If good films are doing well, that's a great thing. Otherwise, if bad films are doing well, then that's not good. If good films are not doing well, that's also not good. So if right now we are in a good place, so there's no worry about things going out of hand or something wrong is going on. I think it's fine. We can have fun. But excited. Next week we are getting Mollywood Times. Looking very exciting. It could be the film of the year maybe, considering the kind of teaser it had. The trailer is yet to come. I don't know if they'll come out with the trailer or not. But the director thinks different, and movie about movies is always fun, and getting a very different perspective on it. The way the director himself has said that, I don't like romanticizing anything, so getting a different angle to it will be a lot of fun. But I hope, guys, you had fun for the live stream. If you're watching the replay, always you can leave your comments below. I'll definitely reply to them if I can. Parimala and Co trailer, check it out. Definitely, thank you. In case we'll do that. There's some other videos also to react to, so we'll do all of that. But I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I think the last video of this month, May, we end up May with this. And I hope you had a good month. Good films coming now. We are back on track, I think. The year has not been great movie wise in a sense. Drishyam, I'm saying, Dhurandhar kind of dominated, and many people kind of shifted their movie dates and everything, and we didn't have that great year till now, where full on like great films have come out. And kind of in my ranking, I'm not sure how I'll rank the films, so that'll be interesting. So June end, I'll definitely do that half yearly. What are the best films I've seen till now. I think still Tighi, the Marathi film I saw, still in top spot, if I'm not wrong. Unless I'm wrong. Probably I'm not wrong. Tighi is still on top there. If you haven't seen, it's on Z5. Definitely check it out. A good Marathi film. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you had fun. If you did, do like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Good night. Bye bye. See ya.